Majesty. As a master butcher, you are required to pay a tax on each of the animals you slaughter. You have failed to do so. We therefore find you guilty of tax evasion.
I protest, and hereby lodge an appeal against the decision.
Giulio.
I didn't evade the tax, I refuse to pay it. Till we get an accounting of public funds collected by the banking house of His Excellency, Prince de Medici. If it's a public service, then I say let's have public accounting of funds.
Our decision can be appealed if you wish at the proper time and place. The Council of Justice stands adjourned.
I told them, eh?
Ah, Giulio, everyone will hear.
Let everyone hear. Other honest citizens will follow my example if there's enough talk about this.
Never fear. You'll be the talk of every banquet table. And not to your advantage.
Our butcher has got out of hand, Rodrigo. He must not be allowed to appeal.
It's a delicate situation, my lord. If he should disappear any time before the appeal, your enemies will say that you had arranged the disappearance in order to suppress an inquiry into the misuse of public funds.
Which only goes to prove that he must be made to disappear discreetly and quietly. The old goat has a young wife, married her out of the marketplace by all accounts.
Gowned her, perfumed her, and now the ungrateful minx is ashamed of him. And he's insanely jealous.
With good reason, I should imagine, judging by the cast of her eye.
I'm told she's having her portrait painted, secretly, of course, at the studio of Master Marco del Monte.
Oh. I begin to see a pattern emerge. A jealous old goat of a husband, a beautiful young wife with pretensions. He discovers her in the studio of a handsome painter with a reputation. An affair of honor, the butcher is killed, and we hang Del Monte for it. Pity, in a way, the man has talent. However, we must not allow art to interfere with politics. Rodrigo, find out for me at what hour she sits for her portrait.
Marco, tell me something. Promise you won't laugh. I was wondering, the most beautiful women in Florence have sat here in your studio for you. I was wondering how I compared. Well, Marco. Can't you say anything but
You're supposed to be staring at the stuffed pigeon, contemplating the beauties of nature, not yourself.
I won't look at the pigeon until you answer me.
Lucretia, you are the most beautiful creature that I've ever painted or ever seen.
Now you're being insincere.
At the moment, I'm concerned only with your left ear, your exquisite left ear. So if you would oblige me by looking at the stuffed bird, I can capture it.
I don't like this pose. I get a crick in my neck trying to look at you.
But you're not supposed to look at me. You're supposed to look at the stuffed pigeon.
Marco, I think I feel faint. Yes, I do feel faint. Oh, help me, Marco. Oh, help me to the couch.
Yes.
Just for a little while.
All right, yes.
Oh, hold me, Marco.
Yes, I'm holding you.
Hold me tight.
Yes. There.
Sit with me, Marco. Hold my hand.
A drink. Yes, that's it. A drink. You need a drink. Sandro, I'm through. Finished.
Oh, good. I've just been running through the accounts. The apothecary threatens to take us to the law if we don't pay for his pigments by tomorrow.
I can't go on. I give up. Give me some wine.
You can't go on?
Oh, if only she'd stop talking.
Marco, the merchants in the market have stopped giving us any food.
What?
Is they'll be threatening us with the law next?
Well, I'd rather be tied to a pole in the square and publicly whipped as a bankrupt.
You may well get your wish.
Well, anything's better than that.
But, Marco, the fact remains she's paying you very well for this.
No wine.
Only a few more days.
Wait. I know what I'll do. She's weary of the sitting. Posing exhausts her. And I've been heartless. Very well, then. I'll finish the face today, such as it is. But tomorrow I'll hire a model to sit in for her, and then I can complete the background and the figure. And she can stay at home. There.
Ah, what do you want?
His Excellency asked me to give you this order of meat for a banquet Tuesday next. It's an extensive list. I'll leave it in your hands.
Is de Medici trying to bribe me to drop the accusation of embezzling public funds?
We patronize you because you're a good judge of meat. As good as you are of women, if I may say so.
What do you mean by that?
Your wife is a very lovely woman, Master Basti. I'm surprised you allow her to pose as a model in the studio of so gay a blade as Master Marco del Monte.
Is that the way de Medici fights? By sending his toady to spread slanders about a man's innocent wife? Lucrezia's at home, going about her wifely duties as she should be.
In that case, I must have been mistaken when I thought I saw her go into his studio a while back.
Alfredo, take charge of the stall. Just go home for a moment.
Got it! By Jupiter, I've got it!
Am I permitted to breathe now?
Of course. I've been a selfish, unfeeling brute, but it's finished. At last.
Oh, but you've only sketched in the gown and the whole background. You don't even have that musty little pigeon.
Ah, but I have the face. That's the important thing to me. The face. Ah, the beauty, the passion, the soul. As for the rest, well, I'll hire a model in the morning to save you the tedious details.
Oh, no, Marco, I wouldn't think of it.
What?
These mornings are the only spot of beauty in an ugly life. But do you realize what it means to know that your fellow citizens class you as something low and laughable?
No, I'm sure they don't. Now, come and sit down here. I'm sure they don't.
Just think what it means to know that as long as I'm a butcher's wife, I must live within 500 yards of the slaughter pen. By law.
Oh, dear. Well, I'm afraid as long as your butcher pays for the portrait...
Oh, he's not paying for it. At least not directly. He doesn't even know about it.
I may be stupid, but if he doesn't know about it, what do you intend to do with the portrait?
I'm going to leave it right here in your studio, Marco, and commission you to start another one.
Oh. You are? Are you? Why?
Very important men come here. Noblemen, merchant princes, ambassadors. I will be your lady of mystery. And someday, one of your important visitors is going to ask who your lovely model is.
And I shall reply, of course, it is the wife of Master Butcher Basti.
No. You will answer, it is a sad case. A beautiful, sensitive child, unhappily married to a gross old goat of a man. And she comes here every morning to pose for me. If you would care to meet her.
And how about the gross old goat of a man?
He can't live forever. And I don't intend to spend the rest of my life in the shambles. I'll make a very eligible widow. I'll be your patroness, Marco. And you'll never have to worry about money again. Now run along while Lucretia changes her gown.
Beautiful child. Sandro, the moment that woman leaves here, I'm going to destroy that portrait!
Now, Marco, listen.
What's that?
That will be the landlord.
Oh, tell him I've left Florence to paint something for the King of Spain.
Who's there?
Open up! I want my wife.
Who are you?
You know very well who I am. Basti, the butcher. Husband of the woman you're concealing in there. Marco del Monte, open up!
He wants his wife.
No.
The maestro is not at home.
You lying swine, open this door or I'll break it down.
Who's going to break the door down? We haven't paid for it yet.
Basti, this is Marco. What are you trying to do?
Ah, Master Marco is at home now. Well, open this door.
All right, you better let him in.
Where is she?
You can't come into the master's studio.
Out of my way, or I'll butcher you for the swine that you are.
It's an honor to welcome you, Master Basti. The courage that you have shown.
It's my wife. Where is she?
I want to see this.
Come on.
Lucrezia, come out of there!
Julio, stop making a fool of yourself this instant. You're humiliating me.
No, I'm not making a fool of myself. It's my innocent child bride who's making a fool of me with a pretty portrait painter.
Basti, I beg of you!
Defend yourself, Del Monte!
A man can't defend himself without a sword, Master Basti. Marco, do me the honor.
Don't force me, Basti. We have no quarrel.
I've split cattle thieves in two, and I can do as much for a wife stealer. Defend yourself like a man!
Basti, I beg of you! Master Basti, I beg of you!
Disarm him, Marco, before he breaks up all the studio!
He'll ruin my portrait.
Tell your husband, will you, before I have to hurt him, that I haven't deceived him?
What can I say to him that won't make him more angry than he is already?
So she admits it!
We have no quarrel, Basti.
Julio? My poor, foolish little Julio. Did you have to wound him? You knew perfectly well he couldn't even scratch you. Did you have to prove you were a bravo and draw blood just to satisfy your vanity? I prefer an honest butcher. Will you help me take my husband home, Captain?
Well, there's a woman for you. You save a life at the risk of your own, and what do you get?
She spits in your face.
We're well rid of them. You were right. Well rid of them both.
If we are rid of them, I don't think we've seen the end of this, and I don't like it. The patient is resting well.
Yes, I gave him a potion. He'll sleep a long time, I think. He wounded his leg badly. By the way, didn't I see you with His Excellency at the judge's hearing?
Correct. Captain Rodrigo, at your service. You came close to being a widow just now, milady.
Yes, I did.
Such a beautiful young widow with the Basti fortune would not have to mourn alone. Many women in your position would be.
Please don't say such things to me.
In fact, such a golden opportunity. If you...
What are you trying to say?
Simply that by tomorrow all Florence will be aware that there is bad blood between Marco and the butcher Basti.
So?
It is a well-known fact that painters have access to the most deadly of poisons in the making of their colors. If the old butcher should die suddenly, of poison, shall we say?
Poison?
Emerald green, for example, is compounded of arsenic.
How dreadful. If poor Marco were to be hanged for murder. Or even more dreadful, if the magistrate should suspect that I poisoned my husband.
De Medici has no love for either Marco or your husband. I am sure His Excellency would not be displeased to be disposed of two enemies at once.
I am not acquainted with the mind of His Excellency.
But I am. And it is as I say. He would not be displeased.
Emerald green, you say, is a deadly poison. That's odd. It's always been my favorite color.
Four weeks' work. 10 florins for pigment, brushes, and canvas. 3 florins for wine for her fainting spells. And none of it paid for.
A sweet, sensitive, innocent child.
There you are. That'll be the wine merchant.
Well, tell him I've gone to paint murals for the King of France.
Who is it?
Basti, the butcher.
Oh, no, not again.
Marco's Lucrezia. We want to apologize.
Won't you come in?
I've explained everything to Giulio. He knows that we were trying to keep the portrait a surprise for our wedding anniversary.
Master Marco, they say you're a fine man and a good Republican. A man after my own heart. I'm sorry I was jealous.
And now Giulio wants us to finish the portrait. If you are still willing, Marco.
Madam Marco, it'll be a pleasure.
That was nicely done, Giulio. Now go back to the shop, and we can get on with the portrait.
Well, you'll have to change gowns.
Oh, Giulio forgot to tell you. He simply insisted I wear this gown. He's just mad about emerald green.
Emerald green? Well, I don't have any.
Marco, there's enough there to go on with. I'll go to the apothecary and get some more.
But
Marco, if Master Basti wants emerald green, he shall have emerald green.
We're causing you so much trouble. Is it difficult to mix the pigments? I'm simply fascinated by all this. I think if I was a man, I would have been an alchemist. Smells like garlic.
Now, please be careful. These odors are the fumes of arsenicum, a deadly poison.
Poison? In that pretty little jar?
There's enough there to kill about 10 men.
Does it taste like garlic, do you think?
Well, now, I really wouldn't know. I've never tried it.
Don't think I'm being morbid. But does it kill quickly?
They say in about 10 minutes or more.
How dreadful.
So now, having satisfied your curiosity, I'm sure, perhaps you'd be so kind as to resume your pose and continue to stare at the remains of the stuffed pigeon.
A portrait of Lucrezia Basti in emerald green.
The potion will be administered at an intimate supper of the butcher and his wife, celebrating a third wedding anniversary.
And what of Del Monte? We must be able to prove that he had an opportunity to give the poison.
Lucrezia has arranged that Marco deliver the portrait in person before they sup, in time to share a glass of wine.
Look to your front, Rodrigo. Can we be sure that Del Monte will appear?
Absolutely. He has no money and has not been paid.
Good. You are improving. And how will the poison be given?
In a heavy country Tuscan wine. It will quite disguise the flavor of arsenicum.
The arrangements seem efficient. But be sure, Rodrigo, there must be no mistake.
Have no fear, my lord. I will be on hand to see there is no mistake.
Keep still.
Well, it's finished at last. Yes, I think I finally caught it.
I don't like it, or her, or any part of it.
The childlike, morbid curiosity. She was fascinated with emerald green just because it was a deadly poison. Basti was right. The color does suit her. Cold and hard.
Well, that reminds me. We'll need some more emerald green.
What do you mean? I left a whole jar of it here on the tray.
Well, I looked all over the studio. It's not here.
Well, yesterday, she was looking at it. And then I left her alone for a while.
You don't suppose...
Yes, that's just what I was thinking myself.
But who?
Well, who else but the man I had to fight? The one she calls an old goat.
Her husband? Marco, you mustn't go to that house. I'll get someone to deliver the painting and collect the money.
Well, I'd agree with you, except for one thing. The arsenicum could be traced here. In fact, it will be traced here now that the whole of Florence knows that Basti and I quarreled over his wife.
There, it's done.
Don't mistake the decanter.
Every night for 3 years, I poured out his foul-smelling wine from this decanter.
That'll be Marco with the portrait.
Rodrigo, don't go far in case...
I shall be in the garden with my men. Nothing can go wrong.
Marco, how nice of you to come.
I hope you find the portrait as you ordered it.
It's wonderful.
Where is Giulio?
Oh, he'll be here any moment.
Oh.
At least it will give him a little surprise to find it here waiting for him.
Well, I'm glad you like it. It might be less embarrassing if we settled our account before the guest of honor arrives.
Oh, the money. I had it all ready and then I forgot. I've come to consider this more an artistic experience.
Oh, of course. Everyone thinks it vulgar to discuss art in terms of money, except, of course, the artist.
Hello? Where's my child bride? Ah, there you are. And what about a kiss for your husband, hmm?
Look, Marco's bought the painting.
Oh, hello, Marco. Yes, very good. Doesn't do justice to the subject, of course, but we couldn't expect that.
Does the gown satisfy you? Is that the color that you wanted?
Yes, it does. It's sort of green, isn't it?
Yes. Emerald green.
Master Marco, won't you join us in a glass of wine to celebrate our wedding anniversary?
Oh, I would be honored to.
I'm afraid I don't share my wife's taste in fine wines, Master Marco. I prefer the rough wine of the country. There we are.
Wait. Do you remember that charming old Sicilian custom where the bride and groom cross arms and drink from one another's cups?
Oh, that's very quaint,
It's a
but
good idea, yes. Too little custom and sentimentality these days. Lucrezia.
Oh, Giulio, you're so clumsy. All over my dress.
Oh, dear. Permit me, my lady.
Thank you.
Giulio, drink it first. It smells funny.
Yes, it does. Smells of garlic.
No, Basti, not garlic. Arsenicum. I missed a whole jar of it yesterday after our sitting, but I think I may have found it again in here.
Roderigo! Roderigo! Yes, I've planned to poison you, Giulio, but now my friends will have to kill you both. Be easy to explain.
Away! Follow them, Marco! Diminish his dagger, men!
Roderigo!
Oh, no, you don't, my girl. You don't get away so easily.
I'm sorry this had to happen to you, Basti.
Is Master Butcher Basti present? Master Basti, before we hear your appeal, I believe you should hear an announcement which His Excellency wishes to make.
In view of the special circumstances, the Council has declared a moratorium on taxation on slaughtered meat retroactive to January of this year. But I would warn all who appear before this court not to abuse the privileges they enjoy in this liberal state of Florence for fear of provoking penalties even more unpleasant than mere taxation.
So I won't have anything to appeal?
So that is so. The court is adjourned.
Well, no matter what he says, to Medici is back down.
Congratulations on your successful fight for the guild.
Marco, I've been thinking. I'd like to put my money to some good use. I'd like to commission you to paint a mural across the wall of our guild hall. The story of meat, from field to table.